Welcome to Arcade Couch, the best place to chill with your friends and get your gaming goodness every Saturday at 6 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. I'm Ashley Hobley, and joining me today on the couch is Ciaran Marchant.
Oh, Ashley, is this what the couch is like when there's only two of us?
Yep. It's very quiet.
It's lovely, I think.
Spacious.
It's a cute free zone.
Well, we'll see. There might be some hashtag cuties.
Oh, Ashley, why are you doing this to me? Let us, we're here just freaking, just jocks and t-shirts, not having to put pants on for the podcast. It's fine. Like, we're just chilling. It's great.
Sure. Alright. Today on the show, we'll be discussing the other surprise Battle Royale hit of the year, Tetris 99, Nintendo reviving a cancelled game, and the latest theories around the next-gen Pokemon game. But first, apparently, Xbox have been listening into the show because they did the Sydney Morning Herald posted a big propaganda piece on how good the Game Pass is.
Propaganda? What do you mean propaganda? Sorry, audience, you did hear how long it took me to realise what the hell he just said. What do you mean propaganda?
Well, propaganda implies that they're trying to show it in as good a light as possible and then sway people's thoughts on Game Pass.
But it's a great service. There's nothing to propaganda.
There's propaganda for all good things.
Well,
there's propaganda for getting vaccines. It's not working completely, but it's propaganda.
That's not propaganda. That's promotion.
They're synonyms.
What do you mean? Ash, how have you changed so much? Platinum Explosion, you were lovely, and now this already. We're like 2 minutes in. 2 minutes in, and it's bam. Let's go.
We'll quickly go over this article done by Tim Biggs over at the Sydney Morning Herald. Pretty much talking about how great Xbox is. Some of the numbers he includes, apparently people who use Game Pass, their games time played increases by 20%.
Fuck yeah.
And the number of different games they play goes up by 40%.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, those numbers don't really surprise. I think, maybe game time going up is a bit of a surprise.
That's a surprise.
Number of games isn't surprising.
I guess when you would expect that when somebody goes out and buys a game, they would put the time in to finish that game because they've gone out and bought it. Well, yes. I'm a case study against that, so that's a bad idea. Okay, anyway. So having a pass where they already have the games there as a subscription fee is making people play more. I guess because if they're playing more games, they're putting more time into the games.
Yep.
Interesting.
And then obviously the number of different games if you don't have to pay for 20
that's
games.
100 games just sat there. How long does it take to build up a 100-game library digitally on your Xbox as it is?
Depends on how much money you have. So they highlight Human Fall Flat, which has been very successful.
Damn straight. Great game.
A physics-based puzzle game. Apparently, Game Pass members have played it more than 3 million hours. Mm-hmm. And 40% of those players had never played any puzzle game before.
Have you ever played or seen much of Human Fall Flat?
I've seen bits and pieces of Human Fall Flat.
Dylan and me play Human Fall Flat?
No, we talked about it.
We talked about it?
We talked about it for the Great Games Done Slow stream.
I played it with a friend. That's right. No, okay, cool. Carry on with your life.
Yeah. New big games that go into Game Pass see their active player base grow by a factor of 2, Percy says, and older games see an average increase 6 times.
Well, if you imagine, for the market that Microsoft is targeting, a lot of people would have traded in games that would be on Game Pass. And so they see the games on Game Pass and go, oh, crap. Yeah, cool. I'll replay that. It's there now. I have it. Awesome sauce.
So, interesting thing they put up. So, for example, the past month, Square Enix has added Tomb Raider Definitive Edition and Shadow of the Tomb Raider to Game Pass, meaning the entire rebooted trilogy is now available to members. This will potentially make new fans of the franchise increase sales of paid add-on content, which is still being rolled out. Do you think that's I think that's kind of clawing at straws.
I don't think so.
We'll give our game out for $11 a month. in the case that somebody in the future will potentially buy a game.
Yeah, may as well. Why not? It's not like those games.
I guess it wasn't selling that well, so
those games did not do well. Like the first one did pretty well. The second one they put out to die against Fallout, and then the third one they put out again against something else, and it died. Oh, Red Dead was like the same time, right? It was last year.
No,
it was early.
Sort
Maybe
of.
it was September.
I don't know.
Something that was
I think it
there.
just died on its own. That one.
Well, probably it died. So why not give people? Why not give people the game as part of Game Pass, all three, and then they go, "Oh, I could have the rest. That's a DLC pack. Cool. I'll pick that up. It's like $10. Yeah, may as well. It's not bad ideas."
Publishers could also use Game Pass as marketing that's fun for consumers by including their back catalogue of games ahead of a new release. For example, Bethesda recently made Doom and Rage available in Game Pass ahead of the release of Doom Eternal and Rage 2.
Damn straight.
I think Rage maybe isn't the best example. I think Rage 2 is very different to Rage.
Yeah, I think if you played the first one, you get, from what I've heard from Dylan, is you get at least a very base understanding of the world of what the gameplay could be kind of like the shooting and stuff. I think it's not a bad idea to go, hey, look, these games are already here. You can play them.
It makes sense. I mean,
I
I'm sure they're going to be pushing the Gears of War games up.
Yeah, well,
towards the front of the Game Pass store or whatever they're
already pretty high up, like all the games, Gears of War that are together. But yeah, they'll be there for when that Pop Vinyls game comes out.
So this is interesting. On average, we see a 25% increase in franchise pre-orders and a 10% increase in franchise sales coming from games that go into Game Pass. And that's coming from Game Pass members discovering they really love franchises and following along with them.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm getting from this is Game Pass is most useful for not Microsoft stuff.
So that's really beneficial to them then, because if you've got a game and that game is available on PlayStation, that game is available on Xbox, and you have a way to make that game synonymous with your console, fucking do it. Give them a reason. Be like, Game Pass, you can have the other ones. You've played all the other ones here. You may as well buy it again. You may as well buy it and stay here with us. It's just, you know, it's getting those units that they wouldn't have sold otherwise.
So then he talked to the director of Forza. Last time we announced numbers for Forza, we were upwards of 8 million players in a given month. That kind of tonnage of players gives us a tremendous amount of leverage to create new experiences. If we have the community and business, we will follow. Business will follow. I mean, 8 million players playing on, you would assume, majority on Game Pass, seeing as it's only $11.
I'd like to know, right, the amount of... Right, I'd like Microsoft to employ me to give me a list of people that bought the game fully or didn't buy Game Pass, and then give me their phone numbers, and I call them and be like, "You idiot!" and then hang up.
But they still want people to be buying the game at full price, though.
Yeah, I know, but still, I'd like to call them idiots. Spuds. Still don't understand people that don't buy Game Pass. Like, come on.
I mean, it probably gets to a larger point of that Game Pass seems to be more effective for multiplayer games, in my mind. You need that community of people to keep it viable.
Yeah, it helps with that.
Whereas a single player experience, you're just going to play through the game, you're never going to play it again, potentially.
But you could, single player experiences, if you see a single player game there, you could sub to Game Pass, pay the $10, $12. You've paid $10, $12 for a game. You play the game, and you then go, wait a minute, this is also on Game Pass. Oh, I better keep my sub and play this one now.
But that gets the point. It's just that they don't announce how they financially are supporting this.
I don't think they need to.
You assume that each game has some sort of their own individual deal for however long that they keep being kept on Game Pass. I think the deal is
based on the connection to Microsoft, how big the game is. So if you say to me, if you can say to like Microsoft, putting my game on your Game Pass will rise your Game Pass by this amount of people. Like if you estimate it and go, you can get, then I think you could work out a deal. If you could say, it's Microsoft, it's more of a benefit for me if Game Pass was on there, if my game's on Game Pass, then Microsoft will probably go, we're kind of doing you a favor here. We'll give you the standard rates. Good. Go. Sweet. Like, there's a lot of games on there, indie games, that probably wouldn't get picked up, but they're on Game Pass, so people are playing them.
But is it more important that you're getting played, or is it more important that you covering costs?
As long as the deal covers the costs that you already put in, why not do it?
I know.
Because I think you'd rather, as a game dev, as long as you're in the black, you're not in the red. If you're getting your game out there, so you can also see it from a point of view of goodwill of, if you can get people playing your game now, that means you're going to have a flow-on effect, hopefully, with your future games. Because you've had people play the game. Like, you've had people play the game, go, I really like what this studio did, and then you come out with your new game, and they instantly go, I like that studio. I played their game through Game Pass, and then they buy the next game.
Yeah. Obviously, they talked to the guys at New Zealand's A44 who released Ashen, I think, pretty day and date on Game Pass. They were pretty happy. They said, obviously, their game relies on passive multiplayer, so having that huge fan base, huge player base, obviously helps with that. I just worry that if we're going to have the problem where if this becomes a standard, then people aren't going to be buying that next game. And then people are going to be making games purely for that flat rate.
But, so, you then the culture becomes more about that. So then, I think it's interesting. I think the business formats would shift to suit that. Like, if Microsoft, it's more even like almost guaranteed money though, right? Like, if you can say this month we're going to have this many subscribers, you're much better off than a game like for these indie devs especially. What's a better thing where you say to them, you're either going to get this much, or you can put it out on its own and you don't know how much you're going to get.
Yeah,
I think devs will take it. Yeah.
This is definitely the best possible thing for indie devs, or at least starting out.
Yeah, and I don't
companies. I think as long as you have a set budget potentially beforehand.
I think
you just have to make sure you hit that. It's just how do you grow when that is your set budget each time, and you.
Well, I think you will grow. I think you've got potential to grow because you're more likely for people to buy your game. Or more eyes, more people talking about your game. And then you have a larger community base to talk to when you release your next game. It's literally, they buy your game, they follow your Twitter account, they follow your Facebook, they follow your YouTube, whatever. And then your social media then goes further than that when you release another game or when you do your next project and you continue to have an audience for that project. I think it's good.
I mean, it's interesting. At the moment, it seems like it's a win for gamers, win for game devs.
Yeah.
I just don't know
how
sustainable it is in the long term and what Microsoft gets out of giving away. Well, to be fair, Crackdown did not review very well, so it makes sense that it's on Game Pass because nobody's going to pay.
Exactly. And
it would not have sold very well.
The most interesting thing will be when a non-Microsoft...
Check out Dylan's review over at ExplosionNetwork.com, by the way.
He shits on it. I mean, what?
He gave it... Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of bad. Bad as in he disliked it. But it was a good review. I'm climbing out of my hole now. What I'm interested will be when the first non-Microsoft AAA game goes onto Game Pass. That'll be super interesting if it ever happens. Like if it goes onto Game Pass on its initial release.
Like give a example.
Like say if like a game that's coming out on both systems. So say the new Elder Scrolls game comes out, and Bethesda goes, on Microsoft, we're putting it on Game Pass. PlayStation, we're not going to put it there. If you want to play it on PlayStation, you have to buy it. You have to buy the whole thing. But if you're on Xbox, Game Pass, it's all yours.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Like, that's a thing. Like, that would...
Microsoft would have to offer a hell of a lot of money.
Fuck yeah, they would. But how much... that would, for me, looking at Microsoft's point of view, I think that'd be a fucking good investment. Like, that'd be super. I think if it worked, it'd be super smart to go. You can come
For how long though? How long will it be on Game Pass?
How long do you have to? And then you work out. So then you do it for this month. You do it for this much. So either you do, even if you did it for like 1 to 3 months, 1, 2, or 3 months, and at the end of it, you said we'll work out a deal and we'll give Xbox Game Pass owners a special price for the game.
Yeah, that would make sense. I mean,
and then
especially for in that specific example, that would make a lot of sense.
That would make a lot of sense
because you're not going to be finished Elder Scrolls in 1 or 3 months.
And that's why that'd be a really interesting thing to happen for any kind of AAA game. Would be to put it on a subscription service on one console, have it sell normally on another console, and see what happens. Like, see if people go, well, if I go over here, I only have to pay $10 for it at the minute. But if I go over here, I'm spending like 80, 90. Like, okay, digital price, I'm spending $100. If I want digitally, $100 over here. If I want digitally, $10.
Yeah. It's interesting. I mean, I don't think Bethesda would go for it. But
no, fuck no. Bethesda would be... Actually, Bethesda might end up in the situation where they do, but that's...
I don't know, yeah. Just from a numbers, like, you want to be touting how many sales numbers you did.
Yeah.
And then on Game Pass, you can't really.
Well, maybe they work.
You can say how many people are playing, but that's not a definitive dollar amount.
No, but maybe they'd find a way of, like, if they signed up through a special way or something, or you use a code, so you... I don't know. Or I think for that, the sales numbers would be, at the end of the time period, how many people bought the game.
Yeah. I guess. I don't know. We're just in an interesting place.
It's very fun. I like it.
This kind of moves into our next news story. Google has come out and announced they've got their plans set out for GDC in March. They're going to have a keynote presentation on the 19th of March at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And it is rumored to be something big. Some are even speculating it's their very own console to compete with that of Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Nintendo Switch. The invite just had the simple tagline, "Gather around," and included an image of a dark hallway leading to a light at the end of the tunnel. I believe earlier last year, Google was the ones working on the gaming stream with Assassin's Creed over Chromecast.
Yes, yep.
So the working theory is that they're currently working hard on a subscription-based game streaming service that could either work on Google's Chromecast or possibly on a Google-made console.
So
is this going to be Pixel 3 or is this going to be Google Glass?
I think this is going to be a fucking terrible idea if they get into console hardware.
What if it's just like a $99 box?
I don't even think they should do a $99 box. If they somehow did it...
A Chromecast tie-in.
No, if they somehow did it either Chromecast or through your Google Homes, fuck yeah, okay, cool. Cool, fuck
well,
yeah.
You'd assume...
It'll be
in that
Chromecast,
case, they just need a controller.
Well...
That would be the thing.
You'd have to buy a controller. But
yeah, like
don't
a Bluetooth
get yourself in the market of Xbox and Microsoft selling fucking $500, $600 consoles. I think that's a terrible idea for anybody.
I very much doubt that's what they're going for.
Yeah, but that's a terrible idea for anybody. But if you can go, we're going to enable you to play games at a... It depends on... The thing is, whatever this streaming service is, it's not going to work in Australia.
No, it's going to work in Japan, San Francisco,
some places in America.
major.
Anywhere
with good internet, and then everyone else is screwed.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't love the idea. I don't think it's the greatest idea by them. They'd almost be much better off releasing a new store on PC, but like releasing a game store on PC. But no, I don't think anybody who gets into the console race now, I think is making a really poor business decision.
Yeah.
Because Microsoft's been talking for years that they don't want to do consoles. They're just in general, the whole Microsoft company's like, this thing's it's not good. Like, it's not profitable, really.
Yeah. If we're honest, there's 2 consoles and then a handheld hybrid.
Yeah.
I mean, the last decade, Nintendo have just been working on being different to the other two consoles.
And Nintendo floats purely, like, other than makes purely on its name and its first party exclusives. Not so much anymore. It's getting better. But if Nintendo wasn't Nintendo, that console would be dead. Like, you've just, like, the fact that you have name brands of games where as soon as you release them, you've got an audience that is going to buy them. Like, a Mario comes out, somebody's going to go buy Mario. Mario Kart, somebody's going to go buy that. Zelda, somebody's buying that. But if it wasn't for that game, it would be a 2-horse race.
Yeah. Do you think Google would have any trouble getting third-party places on board? Assuming it works. Obviously, they've got a little bit of goodwill with Ubisoft.
Maybe.
If they were able to use Chrome
I just
as
don't know. It depends on
Assassin's Creed as a test.
how well it performs. I think how well it performs, how much testing's done, and how much performance, like, this is what's actually happening. Because I don't think any developer wants to attach their name or their game to a sinking ship. Like, to something that won't float. Like, you don't want to put your name on that. There's no, like, what, like, unless Google's like, we're gonna back up 10 cash trucks to your door and be like, here, and there's another 10 on the way. Sure, maybe for a developer that's not doing so well and needs a float, awesome, go do it. But
well, I don't know, if it's a multi-platform game, you just do another version for Google.
That's fair.
It's not crazy.
I'm just interested by this, like, the streaming part of it is, like, just stuff like input lag, how, like, what kind of quality of games are we getting? What kind of, like, is it going to be like a YouTube video where the quality of the game is going to be internet-based? Like, you're going to have quality settings of, and it's going to buffer, and it's just, I guess it's hard for me to see here in Australia.
Yeah,
like, it's
not the target demographic
hard.
at all.
Yeah, no, it's super hard for me to see how this can do well. Here.
Google, come out here and fix their internet first. We'll do your streaming service.
Oh, do it. You just lay some sweet fiber.
Why do you think they're so hardcore on getting into gaming? I mean, gaming is like a big market, but
phones did pretty well for them.
Yeah,
like, getting into phones did pretty well for them, and they're doing well with the Pixel. I think Google has the power of marketing information just because of Google search engine. And it's a synonymous name. I guess, unlike some companies, you have Google as a name, and they're having where the technology industry is going is where your house will be as much integrated into one system as possible. Where if you've got Google Homes, they'll link to your Google-enabled TVs. They'll link to your Google phones. If you have a console, they'll be linked to Google consoles. Like, imagine be in-game, but having interaction with your Google Home for the game. Like, if you have Google Homes, it's like, do you want to turn these into a surround sound system? Because we could possibly do that. Like, that's a thing. Like, or we have some, like, there's it's going to be so integrated that getting you to the point where they get as much stuff as possible to integrate into that system would bring more people into the Google Home family. Because from personal experience, the moment you get one Google product, you end up with more. Like with
it's like Mac.
No,
like Apple.
Yeah, like Apple. So once you're in for infrastructure, so when I got my first Pixel, they gave me a Google Home Mini with that Pixel for free. They said, "Here, have a Mini." And I was like, wow, this Mini's really cool. And then I bought a second one because I was like, I want this for a different room.
Because I need one in another house.
Yeah, I need another one, another area of my house. I'd love another Google Home. And then every now and then I'm like, I should get a bigger one just for the main area. Or
you should get one of the ones with like the little screen.
Yeah, or like, and then I'm like, I could get some light bulbs and get them so they're like, you know, how...
So I can tell it to go...
So I can tell it to go to sleep and stuff. Or, like, what else in my house can I integrate into the system that will work? When I look at my next TV, I could go, I want this to be able to integrate into that system easier. And if a TV says, hey, we're part of the Google Home system, I could be more Like, that's a whole nother tangent, but that could be the route that Google is going on. So they're just...
So world domination, that's what...
Correct.
That's why they're
Yes.
getting into gaming.
Yes. You could replace the word Google with Skynet and you'd know exactly what's about to happen.
Accurate. Very accurate. A couple of amusing news stories. A small VR game that was released back in March of 2018 has seen a sudden surge in sales. Why do you ask? The game is called Apex Construct.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I heard
And
about this.
people are buying it, mistaking it for Apex Legends.
Idiots.
So much so, they've had 4,000 more visitors than they had prior to Apex Legends release. Their logos are sort of similar. They're sort of that A sort of structure, white and black. But unfortunately, people are getting angry at their own stupidity and leaving a bunch of negative reviews on the game
And
for
it's
not
a
being
VR
Apex
game,
Legends.
right?
Yeah,
So even if they buy it, there's a good chance what they've bought they can't play.
yeah, very good chance.
And why would you... Like, I hope they don't get refunds because they're idiots. Because
Well, if it's through Steam, that
they're
as
gonna...
long as they haven't played it and they work it out very quickly,
Yeah,
then they'll get refunds.
But like, it's... Apex is so big, and I thought it was widely known that it's a free-to-play game. Wouldn't you go, hang on, why am I paying for this?
Yeah.
What?
Well, just double check.
Triple check.
I don't think the game even looks anything like.
You know what? I don't think you can get Apex on Steam. Apex Legends. You can't. It's not a Steam game.
It would be
It's on
an
Origin.
EA game.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
EA, so it's Origin. So you can't even get it on Steam.
Well, no wonder they're so stupid they didn't realize that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you're on
You
Steam
dumb
looking for
PC
it,
Steam gamers.
you're using a PC and you have been evicted from the master race. Like, you've been exiled.
Oh no, it's not on the Steam store, so they're
Where else
they're
does it
stealing
go?
my
I'm not
choice.
I can't.
Oh, it's just
How-
like Epic.
I've got to uninstall Steam to install Epic or Origin. No. You can have them all on your PC for no reason. Just all there. It kind of works the same. It's fine.
Also in dumb people news, over the past weekend, there was an event in Norwich, England, called
Norwich?
Fortnite Live that was billed as the ultimate Fortnite Battle Royale event and would feature stuff like dance battles, activities like archery and rock climbing, big screen broadcasts of YouTubers, and banks of PCs available to play Fortnite. Tickets cost between £12 to £20, which equates to about $21 to $36, and just under 3,000 kids showed up for the party. Unfortunately, there was massive delays for anybody who didn't have an early bird pass, which organizers blamed on short staff shortages. And then the archery section could only be used by 3 people at any given time.
Only 3 people by any given...
Yep, and their wall
3?
climbing could only be used by 4 people at any given time.
Right.
And then worst of all, to use the PCs to play Fortnite, you had to pay to go and play the free-to-play game on those PCs.
That's interesting.
Yeah. To put it this is the forerunner for worst event of the year so far. In the grand tradition of TanaCon and Fire Festival.
Yeah, it's really up there.
Yeah, so lots of complaints. It was terrible. What an absolute disaster. Not like advertised. We went for the early bird, but some stuff wasn't even set up. The best thing about the event was the burger I had.
You were
My
there
son
so
asked
early. You didn't even shit.
My son wanted to leave, and as for the organizer saying it went well, what an absolute joke. Another customer said, I got my tickets for tomorrow, not taking my son to get upset, want a refund like everybody else does. And another person said, a tarpaulin lobbed over a van with a plastic slide sticking out the back was billed as a cave experience.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, I saw the pictures. It looked like it was a van with like a slide stuck out the back. So, yeah. So the company also didn't get the licensing or any official word from Epic to use their images which were plastered
Yeah,
everywhere.
I did see this. There was a lot of and the fact
So
that it even
Epic is
included
coming down with the suing hammer.
the freaking
Hard.
the men the
So
suits.
the company that set up the event has now ceased all operations, and looks like they're not going to be doing any more events in the future. They had another 3 of these stupid events signed up, so thank God. Thanks, Epic, for cancelling those and saving people their money.
Yeah. It's
I mean, I think it's very funny, but why would you think that would be a thing you could do? I don't know.
I don't know. It's public use, right? It's like a dance.
Yeah,
Dance
it's a
is
free to
public
play
use.
game, so it's free for us to charge other people to play it.
Yep. No, we'll
Makes sense.
use the word Fortnite spelt like that in our name. We'll use imagery all over the place.
Yep.
It's like public domain. It's fine, right?
That's definitely a thing. Not really. So, last news story. There is a wild rumor going around that people think they know what the name of the Pokemon Switch RPG game is. They believe the titles will be Pokemon Queen and Pokemon King. So, okay. You ready to go down this rabbit hole?
Okay, let's go.
All right.
Let's experience
So,
it together.
This week, Game Freak director Junichi Masada posted an innocent screenshot of a Weedle he caught in Pokemon Go. So, the CP for the Weedle is 199, and the weight is 4.116 kilos. So, Reddit people all over the internet deciphered Pokemon 199 is Slowking, and Pokemon 416 is Vespi Queen. That's why it's called Pokemon King and Pokemon Queen. Incredible, subtle, hidden messaging.
Really subtle. Really hidden.
Yeah. It's not the worst possible name.
No, it could be way worse.
Fans claim this is Masada's way of hinting the game was called Pokemon King and Pokemon Queen. Adding on to that, the length of the Weedle is 0.33 meters, which might be referring to Nidoran, whose final form is Nidoking.
Yep. That's some pokey math they did there.
Moving on, the fans believe Pokemon King and Queen will be officially announced on the 26th of February, 2019. See, let's look at their math. The number of Weedle candies he had was 226. So the 26th of February, official announcement.
Fucking hell. This is some rabbit hole tinfoil hat shit.
Wait for it. One last one. Reveal on the 26th, hence the 226 candies. If you add 2351, you get 11. And if you add 714, you get 21. So the game will release on the 21st of November 2019, hence the 2,351,714 Stardust, and 416 kilos means we get a full fat gameplay trailer on April 16th. Do people have too much time on their hands?
Ash, I think you do know the answer to that. Yes, these people are ridiculous.
I mean, he has dropped some hints in the past, leading up to Pokemon Pikachu and Pokemon Eevee. But that was like just random pictures of Pokemon of Pikachus and Eevees. No one's going this hardcore.
Somebody is.
I mean, he was just really proud of that Weedle that he caught, and he wanted to share with everybody.
Yep, and he's like, man, I can build a story out of this.
I mean,
and nerds will eat it up.
I love the conspiracy theoryism around it. I mean, to do the math and all that, but damn,
too much
crazy.
Time. Go get a job.
I mean, there's no way they're going to call it Pokemon King and Queen. It's not. It's too gender binary. It won't work in this economy.
No, that would be a terrible idea.
In this landscape.
Actually.
Yep.
Yeah. No, that's a bad idea.
Yep.
Will Nintendo think it's a bad idea though? Who knows?
Well, I guess we'll find out in the next week if this is true or not.
Yep.
Because apparently it's announced the 26th.
Easy.
So.
Katka. Alright,
I managed to play one of the big releases from Nintendo after their Nintendo Direct last week. The Battle Royale game we never knew we wanted, but now is blowing up the internets. Tetris 99. Basic premise, you play Tetris against 98 other people.
It's like the most relaxed. It's you know what? I have fun. I relax. And then all of a sudden shit hits the fan. Like...
Yeah, it's like a real Battle Royale.
Well, but it's worse because, like, you'll be, like, smashing it, getting Tetrises, like, learning how to T-spin and doing the stuff.
I don't know. Hey, these T-spin stuff, sounds like a made-up thing that they invented.
No, it's apparently always been a thing in Tetris.
Yeah.
You can apparently, in the original Tetris, you get more points if you T-spin. Interesting. But...
Yeah.
What? It's just you get down to like the last like 20 people, and it's like all of a sudden you just get destroyed.
Yeah. So over on our YouTube channel, explosionnetwork.com/ YouTube.com/Explosion Network, or you can just go to explosionnetwork.com.
Yeah, that's
it's there. Dylan released a how to play video of Tetris 99. So pretty much it's standard Tetris. You're trying to get as many things as possible, except every time you get 2 or more lines in a row, you send garbage lines to other players. You can select where you want those lines to go. You can either send them to randoms. You can send them to people who are trying to attack you. You can send them to people who are about to lose based on the game's algorithms or whatever. And then also people who have badges. So you get badges by KOing other people, and that means the amount of lines you get from... making how much garbage lines you send out is increased by a certain amount, depending on how many badges you have. So if you can either get those by KOing other people, or you can get even more by KOing people with badges.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the basic premise, and then you just got to stay alive until the very end.
Till the very end. Everybody else. But then the worst ones for me, right, aren't even the garbage. The lines. It is the times where it'll force you to drop whatever piece you've got wherever it is. Have you ever had those?
I've never had that.
You haven't had those? So I've had a couple of them where it like instant drops your piece. So wherever you are at the time, it's like bang. It's like see you later.
No, you sure you're just not hitting the wrong
No, I swear. It's happened a couple times where it's just like it'll be at the top of the screen and then it'll appear at the bottom of the screen instantly and I'll have another piece going and I'm like, what the fuck?
Don't know. That's
crazy.
Could be just a weird glitch on your Switch.
Okay, possibly.
Maybe your button's broken. Your up button's broken.
I think I've watched a couple people on the Twitch, and I've seen it happen to them as well. So
I don't know. I haven't heard anything. It could be a thing for all I know.
Could be a thing, actually. You're not. You're the big battle royale expert of the explosion.
Yeah, I know
with Apex, but
yeah.
Might be.
So what's the best position you've gotten?
I think 12th.
Okay, I got a 4th place.
You got a 4th? So, nice.
Yeah. It is surprisingly difficult.
It's like
I liked. I think Joey Noel best summed it up. Hey, remember a week ago when we all thought we were really good at Tetris?
Yeah, and I think there's moments where I think you have to be kind of lucky because there's moments where all of a sudden like 5 or 6 people target you at the same time, and you're like, fuck.
Yeah, there's nothing I can do.
Yeah, I'm screwed. I'm done.
You've got no long straight pieces blanked up.
Yeah, it's just like...
I mean, it works great if you've got like... You just get luck out and you get like 3. You have 1 banked and you've got another 2. You've got 2 straight pieces coming up and the massive line of garbage. Because it all lines up, sort of. At least some of it. And then you just whack them back with a bunch of 4 pieces, yeah. It's interesting that it's a Nintendo-only... game, I guess.
Yes.
Because clearly this would do well on any system.
Really? Yeah, I don't know. I think it suits the Switch like really well.
Yeah.
I think it suits...
I mean, the controls are simple. I mean, anything with 2 analog sticks
do you reckon,
could pretty much do it.
I might blank out about this later, but do you reckon it increases the sales of Nintendo's online features?
Yeah, I think definitely. Well, at least while the buzzer bounded is going. I don't know what the longevity of it is. I also don't know what the financial benefit of it, like, unless they just made this reasonably cheap.
I don't think it would have cost that much.
Or Nintendo just sort of went, hey, here's $100,000, make a simple puzzle
$100,000,
multiplayer game.
fuck.
I'm just pulling a number out of my butt. It could have been
I
$1
think
million.
the biggest cost would have been in this game would have been just the infrastructure, just having the servers to host it. And I can't imagine the games themselves would like take up that much space on the hosting service. So I don't think it'd be, I think it'd be pretty cost effective. It's when they start, letting you buy straight pieces for like 50 cents.
Yeah. It definitely feels like they could be adding something else to it.
Mm-hmm.
There's just so much menu space.
Yeah. Definitely.
And then on the stats bar, there's like 2 options, but they're pretty much just the same thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether they're going to like add something else in the future to it.
Possibly.
That would be interesting.
It'd be fun. Fun.
How long do you think this is going to be a thing? Do you think it's?
I think it has lifetime. It's Tetris. Tetris always has life. Like, when is there? Like, there'll always be people playing Tetris, and if you have this kind of, form of just fuck it, it's free. Just play Tetris against people. You've successfully made Tetris like competitively accessible. Fuck yeah, let's go. I should have talked about it on early late nights this week.
Is this going to be a major thing in the esports scene?
I don't think it'll be a major thing. I think it'll be. There's a possibility of it being included at like something crazy, like an Evo or something, or like some kind of fighting tournament. Yeah. That'd be pretty crazy. But
I'm sure there's Tetris championships.
There's definitely Tetris championships. There's definitely the interesting thing about that is those kind of Tetris championships are generally like hardcore originalists, they like the original version of Tetris and that's it, and they find it really hard to adapt to anything else. So it'd be interesting to see.
Also, want to praise how quickly you get into games. I feel like there's only ever at worst 30 seconds before you're back in.
You get your game. I think it was smart to release it as free to play, and it gets it out there. And the Switch is a great unit to go on. It's just kind of sad that online services is required. I wish it was just.
I mean, it's not. It's like $5 a month. You get.
Still.
You get the Super Nintendo games, whatever thing they're chucking in with it.
Yeah.
You can play ARMS online. You could play your Smash online. I'm sure there's a couple other games that you could play online.
Probably
I don't know.
Mario Kart, something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
don't know. Moving on. Joining us to talk about our main topic today is Nicholas Pryor. How are you going today, Nick?
Good. I'm good to be out of my sim pit and back on the couch every once in a while.
I know we've had a lot of space, but now we're very happy to accommodate you.
Like, why did you have to sit next to me, though? Like, couldn't you have sat next to Ash? I had my legs up. I was comfy. I had a spot.
I just feel more comfortable in your personal space, Ciaran.
Okay. Well...
Do you not feel the same?
Okay.
Just take your shirt off with me.
Okay. So let's talk about this rumor that sort of came up. Senior editor for Game Informer, Imran Khan, was on Kind of Funny Games Daily last week, and he made the following remark talking about the upcoming Direct that we covered last week. There's a game that's thought to be dead that Nintendo's reviving, and it's not one that people would expect. It was very much a title that was dead and buried, very officially cancelled. So naturally, the internet was speculating a lot the last week, and then in the last 24 hours or so of time of recording, it's come out that the game could possibly be Scalebound. The game that was cancelled by Microsoft on the 9th of January 2017, developed by Platinum Games.
Wait, it got cancelled in 2017? I thought it was way sooner that it got cancelled. Wow.
No, a couple of months before it was scheduled to be released.
Yeah, no. I knew it was cancelled, but I thought it was it only got cancelled last year.
Really?
Yeah, no. I don't know why it was a couple years ago. I thought it was only last year it got cancelled. Wow.
No. It was definitely last year, so. Couple of questions. Would you be excited for Scalebound? And 2, do you think Scalebound could actually run on a Switch?
I really don't remember anything about Scalebound other than dragons, but I'm not huge on Platinum style, Platinum Games style. So, I mean, not really.
No. For those who need a refresher, you were going to play as Drew, who, while exploring the dangerous world of Draconis, is bonded to a fearsome and noble dragon, Thumbin, the last of his kind. Thrown together by fate, they must defeat the enemies that threaten their world. It was very much a Platinum Games-esque, action-y, swipey things.
Hack and slash.
Slash things. Hack and slash, those are the words.
That's the words. That's
swipey things is the other name for it, but yeah.
Is it? Is it really?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Ciaran, what are your thoughts?
No and no.
No?
I'd like to think that Microsoft had a good enough reason to can this game.
Yeah, they're like, we've got way too many exclusives at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. Like, with their exclusive market, it was only a couple months away. Like, there has to have been something with this game that made them go, nah, we can't do this. Like, we cannot do this. And to think, it's to either run it on the Switch, that means you originally built this game for the infrastructure of the Xbox One, or possibly even the Xbox One X, and you're now bringing it back down to the Switch. I don't like how that downgrades.
What if they cancelled it because it wasn't good enough to showcase the hardware of the Xbox, and this is why it could be on the Switch, because it's not as technically impressive.
I don't think
what they had hoped.
I don't think anybody.
They were going for a AAA game, and it was only like an A game.
Yeah,
possibly
anything but anything but maybe like Forza, in my opinion, has super shown off the capabilities of the Xbox One X. And that's just in general. Like, even Crackdown, I've heard things that are just like, it's not that impressive. Like, it doesn't look good. It looks like it's 20 years old, or whenever that freaking game started publishing. But for me, my problem is, this is a losing battle for Nintendo, right? Like, I don't see how this is a win. Unless they bring it out and it's fucking amazing. Because people are so hype on this game, and you've now resurrected the hype on that game, and now if it's not good, people are just like, well, why did you resurrect it?
What if this is a back end in that deal of the Xbox on Nintendo thing that you were arguing about that other episode?
We don't.
What if this is what they're getting?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure the trademarks for Scalebound, they did renew them, but they had to give them up because they didn't have anything. Like, they had no grounds to keep the trademarks.
They had no grounds.
Seeing as they weren't doing it anymore. I think it's more of a relationship between Nintendo and Platinum Games. Obviously, they've done Wonderful 101. They did Star Fox Zero, which didn't pan out great. Obviously, they're doing all the Bayonetta games now on the Switch. And they just announced that Astral Chains game as well. So I think it's just sort of works out. Obviously, Japanese companies working together.
So wait, they've just announced another game.
Yes.
And they're doing Bayonetta.
Yes.
How big is Platinum Games?
They always seem to have about 300 games in development.
Yeah, they do. They seem to have a few games in development, although to different scaling levels.
What if Xbox cancelled it because they weren't as dedicating as much resources as they had hoped, while they've got all these other projects on the burner? Like, how many games had they released between the announcement of Scalebound to whenever it was cancelled? I'm sure there'd be quite a few Platinum games.
That'd be interesting. Maybe,
They weren't holding up their end of the deal, so they backed out of it.
There's a good chance of it. Unless, maybe it just wasn't as far along as Xbox needed it to be. Like, Xbox, possibly. I think, probably had a window where they're like, we really need Scalebound to come out right now. Like, we need it in this period of time. We desperately need it. And Platinum turned around and went, nah, we're not going to do this.
Sorry, I'm working on Bayonetta 2 for Nintendo
now, not going to have that ready yet.
We got our Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, maybe like Transformers.
Maybe like 2020? And Xbox went, go jump. This is all speculation. This could be, in 2 years, 3 years' time, we could look back on this and be like, fuck, Nintendo made the smartest decision in the world. Like Nintendo made
Scalebound is a massive franchise now.
Yeah, Scalebound is so massive. It's spun off. It's going to have a good sequel. It's beloved by everybody. Awesome.
That Beats tie-in just turned out to be a really good investment.
Like that sponsorship they had for Coca-Cola throughout the whole thing did it all good. But for some reason, I just don't see that happening, and that might just be me, kind of biased to Microsoft, being like, Microsoft, I believe in you that you cancelled this for a good reason. And, maybe 3 years could be enough time for them to fix whatever those reasons were. But, hey, if the Nintendo Switch can run it to the same level it was going to run, which we'll never know, it'll be impressive.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be keen to check it out. I think it works well within that sort of ecosystem. There's definitely interest for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously, it's a similar-ish game to Monster Hunter Worlds. Like, there's sort of massive monsters. You're a tiny person. That kind of aesthetic.
Massive monsters. Yeah. You're a tiny person.
Okay, regular-sized person.
Ash just explained it perfectly. Like,
yeah,
amazing. Ash, amazing.
That's what all Monster Hunter games are.
So well done. So well done.
Yeah, I think it would be a good fit for Nintendo if they could pull it off, but yeah. Just depends if it actually could run on the system or not.
It's just...
But then again, you've got a couple of other next-gen games that come into Switch, although they don't look as good as they do on the other consoles, so,
yeah.
Hellblade, anyone?
Oof.
Does that come to Switch?
That is coming to Switch.
Oh, dear.
There are some other games that are being rumoured that it could possibly be. First one, F-Zero. Apparently, Criterion was approached at one point to make an F-Zero back in the day.
Right.
Is that something... I mean, F-Zero seems like a franchise that is just waiting to be brought back.
I just don't think... I don't know. I think it'd have to have some serious work done to it. Like, I don't think you could just port... Like, just rehash an F-Zero game and do it again. I think you'd have to make something new out of F-Zero. But I don't know if anybody wants to put that effort into that franchise. Why not just make something new if you're going to do that?
Yeah. I know. If the rumor is that they're doing Mario Kart in the next 12 months, then a new Mario Kart, I don't see them doing an F-Zero.
Exactly.
Not only that, the reception to Wipeout wasn't that very good in my opinion. Like, it was a good game, but by all reports from what I remember, that it didn't sell very fantastically. So
the people who loved Wipeout already bought Wipeout.
Exactly. But I feel like it's the same crowd as the F-Zero crowd.
Yeah, and I don't think it's going to win over new people.
No.
It's not going to win over new players. Like, you've brought Smash Ultimate out, and people who love Smash bought Smash. People who've never played Smash probably bought Smash more than any other version of Smash because of how well the Switch is doing.
I bought Smash. Never bought a Smash before in my life.
Yeah, I think Dylan's the same. I know many people in my world that have never owned it, but have it now. So I think that's the big thing is when you're buying a game, when you're selling a game, if it is already a game that has a beloved community, awesome. But you're still looking for new people to buy the game, new people to pick it up and purchase it for growth.
What if it's The Agent from Rockstar?
Nah, that game's dead. That game's like super duper dead.
No, it died in the womb. That's what happened.
Isn't that what the story said? It's dead, long cancelled?
Nah, I don't know. Maybe, do you reckon Nintendo have semi-shot themselves in the foot here? Because
it's just a rumor, to be fair.
It's a rumor.
But it is from a credible-ish personality, so that...
Yeah.
Who is this Shaka Khan person?
Imran Khan. He's the senior editor at Game Informer.
Right.
It would just be bad, I think, if it's not Scalebound and if it's a lesser series.
Okay.
The gaming community could be
Earthbound.
Shitheads.
Could. That's the next thing on the list. Mother 3, Earthbound 64. That could be a possibility. Obviously,
and that would fucking create insane internet buzz.
I mean, it launched in Japan. It just has never been localized to the West.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they could do the Link's Awakening thing and sort of give it a 3D art style. I mean, that would sell. That would be a huge...
Yep.
Oh, yeah. People go nuts over Earthbound.
I don't know how realistic it is, though.
Anything's on the
Nintendo.
cards.
Nintendo just don't seem to be too interested in that property, I don't think. Super Mario Spikers. So, the sort of spin-off from their Super Mario Strikers game, whether you play soccer, and it was a game where you played volleyball, but had, like, wrestling techniques or something in it.
Nah, not going to happen.
Yeah, that got
There's
cancelled.
no way. That's such a weird...
Such a weird...
It didn't... I don't even think it did well the first time it came out, so...
I don't know.
Nah.
Fantasy Live Online. It was a game designed by Level 5 that was going to be an MMO RPG.
Actually, Worms. Fucking give us a Worms.
But worms aren't long dead or extinct or cancelled.
When was the last time a Worms game came out?
They come out pretty regularly on PC.
Did they really?
Yeah.
The more you know, people. PC gamers.
Yeah.
I could actually see like a Final Fantasy 14 type MMO working on the Switch, especially in Japan. I guess it could impregnate in the West. I mean,
I think the thing for me is if it was going to work, Final Fantasy 14 would already be doing it. That game's still like super big.
Yeah, I guess. Well, they're getting all their Final Fantasies over there, so any day now.
Any day.
They're just waiting for the Nintendo online services to get a bit better.
Ugh.
They've got to plug in some more wires. That's how it works. Right?
That was actually, I had minor down point. I literally said to a friend who's a big Nintendo fan today at work, I was like, hey, have you played Tetris 99 yet? And he's like, no, I haven't got Nintendo Online. I'm like, oh, that's right. It's a free-to-play game, but you have to pay for the online service.
Oh.
Yep.
Which is kind of weird because on PlayStation, you can play free-to-play games without PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, it was really good when we talked about it just before in the earlier segment. Wii Sports or Wii Sports Resort sequel?
Nah.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like it would move the needle at all.
Past,
I mean, that seems incredibly likely that they would
they've
be
already
something
got
they
something
do.
similar with motion controls and all that with 1-2 Switch or whatever it was called.
Yeah, but sports.
Yeah, but
We like sports and we don't care who knows, you know?
Yeah, don't you want to be bowling and boxing and...
Wii Sports was pretty dope. Like, that was actually...
Yeah, it was.
Like, that sold so well, even though it was just given away with every Wii in existence. But
that helped.
It helped a lot, but there was a lot of copies of that game in the wild.
Yep. Project Giant Robot. So this was like a experimental game, apparently, that you use the motion controls for the Wii U to control a giant robot. And the goal was to control your robot to knock out another robot in like a big, huge city setting.
So they
seems so random.
They rock the other robot, and maybe they sock them as well. Maybe they rock them and sock them, and they're robots.
Yeah,
that could potentially be a theme because if it's Platinum doing it, they've done the Transformers games, which is similar.
Why would they do that when they have arms?
Yeah, that's true.
No, because arms sucked, and they thought people might get into this.
I think people liked arms, right?
I think people like arms a lot.
I heard a lot of
very
good things about
minor subsection.
It's just a very, very small market, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the people, I don't know. People who like arms.
I don't think giant robots will improve that.
Yeah. No.
They could if it's licensed, like
Actually, if Michael Bay
a Gundam or something like that.
If Michael
if
Bay
you
did
license different giant robots,
and then they
or
brought
just
King
robots in
Arthur
general.
there.
Or if it's Gundam themed, or if it's some sort of
If you have like C-3PO versus the
C-3PO is not a giant robot.
No, but you could make him giant.
It could be. Or they just add Anthony Hopkins and they make the robots like Knights of the Round Table with King Arthur, and there's explosions all the time, and Megan Fox is there. Yeah, that sounds like great. What are we talking about?
Anyway, another one that's rumored is a game called Project H.A.M.E.R. It was like at E3 2006. It's like a beat 'em up where everybody like had big hammers. That could be a thing.
I think
that was long in development. I don't know why it just failed. I don't know.
I think
seems like
anything that they have put like promoed like this has to be something well known.
Yeah.
But is it actually well known, or do they just presume it is?
I don't know.
And,
Said it's
like,
nobody's
this is
going to see
weird
it coming.
Nintendo, where everybody's going to hype themselves up about Scalebound or some other game, and it's not going to be that.
Yeah. And the final one I'll suggest, Metro Dread. It was meant to be a 2DS action side 2D Metroid game that was meant to be a sequel to Metroid Fusion. This
You're
one
saying
seems
Metro or Metroid?
Metroid,
Right.
like Super Metroid.
When you
But
said
with
Metro,
Dread.
I was like, what? It's a 2D Metro game?
Yeah. Why
You know,
not?
I heard about this the other day. Actually, I was reading about this. I thought it sounded pretty damn cool. Could be pretty fun especially on the
Yeah.
on the Switch. Would be a good toilet game.
A good toilet game.
Yeah.
What if it's a new Trauma Center game?
Oh my god, yes.
That would be pretty cool.
That'd be excellent. Or
You could do two with the two waggle things.
Oh,
The
no.
Joy-Con
Oh.
things.
That's a good.
You can, yeah. You can use one hand to keep the wound open. The other one to get the stuff out.
Has there been
Exactly.
like a Phoenix Wright game, like an Ace Attorney game, ever canned? I wish.
I don't think so.
I wish.
Pretty sure they all just came out.
Yeah, I know. Damn.
Anyway. Thank you for joining us on the couch this week. Make sure you check out explosionnetwork.com for all our other shows, reviews, news, articles, and more. Rate Arcade Couch on Apple Podcasts to help out the show, or simply share it on social media with your friends. Just send them a Tetris with Explosion
Send them a
Network.
Tetris. Fucking hell. If you can like in a game
Make out EN in Tetris. Tetris 99.
You know what? If you can send through a Tetris, if you take a screenshot, tweet it at ExplosionPod or at me, your boy Ringo, I'll hook you up with a Explosion Network t-shirt at some point in the future.
You heard it here first.
I'll hook
and
you up
only
with
here.
a t-shirt. I'll get you merch.
You can follow Explosion Network on said Twitter at ExplosionPod and join our Discord over at explosionnetwork.com/Discord where we talk to you about stuff. You can follow me on Twitter at Ashley Hobley, ASHLEYHOBLEY. You can follow Ciaran on Twitter at your boy Ringo, YABOUY.
Why are you spelling it?
R-I-N-G.
It's how it sounds. Your boy.
I don't know. I
Ringo.
feel it's yeah. And also you can follow Nick at Lord and Prior, PRIOR. All right. Until next time. See you here next week. Same time. Same couch. Better host probably.
I'm gonna put a chocolate wrapper underneath Shuri's seat.
Let's see how cute that is. I was going to ask something else.
Ashley is thinking song, thinking on the couch with Ciaran. He's gonna decide what to say. Here he goes in 3, 2, 1. Ashley
I lost it.
away.
I just lost it.
And he's lost it. Train is left the station.